Simz,
Chuckie.
listen, I almost feel like this has been a long time coming,
Yeah.
like sitting down and having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting, like, I've been following you for a long time. Like, before I even started podcasting. Bandcamp days. And I always reference you in the sense that, like, when we have discussions about music and I'm talking about upcoming music and I'm talking about, like, people building their fan bases and stuff, I always talk about, like, Bandcamp because I came across Bandcamp through you.
Yeah. Oh, no way.
Yeah, and understanding that,
Crazy.
okay, boom, I could pay as much as I want
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
particular
yeah.
project or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it makes you feel closer to that the artist and whatever. So I would always reference that. But I want to start by saying that, like, you've been in this game for a long time.
Yeah.
You've seen the business change.
Yeah.
You've seen the way that people even listen to music change. And there's been a lot of changes even within your own business. Do you still love it here? Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I still love music, yeah. Yeah, 100%. And this album has shown me that.
Right.
Yeah, but I've had like my fair share of heartbreaks in this thing. And your heart will get broken. It's just inevitable, I think, in this industry. And you will lose yourself and you'll find yourself and you'll lose yourself and you'll find yourself. But I'm still here. Like, I'm also Nigerian, so I'm tough.
Yeah.
And yeah, you gotta have thick skin, man. But I've definitely seen a lot. But 6 albums in.
6 albums, it is insane.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about the fact that, like, in that time, since you've been here and you've been ascending,
Yeah.
so many have come and gone. Like, so many. And
That's the craziest thing,
Right.
I think. Like, everyone almost starts like in a school. It's like the school of this or the school of that. And then as time goes on, you see who's still here, who's not, who's even taken a different career change. They're still in the atmosphere, but maybe not within music. They're more, I don't know, within the world of fashion or the world of acting or whatever it is. So, yeah, that's...
what's the trade-off? Like, what's the trade-off in the ascendancy? Like, when things actually start to happen. I know you just talked about, like, having your heart broken and stuff, yeah? And I know that, like, anytime, anyone, in any scenario where you could have your heart broken or whatever, things can just never be the same again.
Yeah.
But you always find a way. But then at the same time, there is a really, really good side to it, though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what has been a trade-off for you, would you say?
I think... Wait, when you say trade-off, are you saying, like, as in what makes it worth it? Like, what makes it... I think it's just knowing that, firstly, this is something I actually need for myself to be able to go through stuff in life, to process it, to write about it and to let it go, to actually move on, you know? I think that's why I do art. That's why I'm a creative person. It's a way for me to process what I'm feeling, but also just knowing that within that, I'm able to help other people. I'm able to inspire other people, and I think that's probably something innate in me. Like, my mum's, you know, done foster caring for many years, and so her whole thing is like trying to help, you know. So I think through how I've grown up, that's just something that's instilled in me. Like, if you have the capability, if you have the power to do that, you should try and do that through. And I just found it through, like, my art, through music. So I think that's what makes it good. And also, I genuinely enjoy performing.
Right.
Like, I genuinely enjoy the stage. I genuinely enjoy the studio. I do enjoy it. Do you know what I'm saying? As much as, like, I selfishly get whatever I get from it. I definitely, enjoyed those aspects of it. But then it comes with
so much.
Yeah.
It comes with so much.
Yeah.
We'll get into some of that anyway. But 6 albums in, yeah? How does it feel to actually be here now?
With this album, it's like mind blowing because I genuinely didn't think I was ready to just leave it at 5. And then just thought, maybe it's time I just actually transition into film and cinema and just part this music thing. But 6 now, I guess like it's interesting for me as well because even when I think about some of the things I was told, like when I was starting, it was always like your first album is got to be your breakthrough. And if you don't crack it on your first, it's going to be really, really tough. Your second is actually the make or break.
Yeah, because if you don't do it on the second, then you're gone.
Forget
Get out
it.
of it. Yeah.
Do you know? I don't think I'd done it on either.
Right.
It was really like my third grey area where I think it kind of cut through. Do you know? So now to be six albums in, it's like, man, it really doesn't. There's no one actually knows. Do you know? It could take your 4th album, it could take your 6th. Like no one actually knows, and so I think it's just a reminder that I just have to keep growing, and I just have to keep on this trajectory of putting out quality music. You know.
Do you know, like, this is one thing that I've said a lot on the pod, actually, is that sometimes...
I love your pod, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you come flying out the gate,
yeah,
it's quite dangerous as 100%. An artist. Because you like, obviously, it's popping off immediately, there's this happening, that happening, or whatever, and then you're hot for the moment, yeah? And now in that, you can either be building a fan base of people that actually genuinely like you, or there's just a fan base of people who are just fans of the time.
Yeah, totally.
And if you have fan bases of people who are just fans of the time, then by the time you come back out again, they're on to the next thing.
Totally. Yeah.
Whereas like, I've always thought that, you see that the career that does that, the one that does that, you're still going to have a little bit of, you get what I'm saying, some dips and whatever. But that is like a great place to be in, because I feel you're constantly building upon the fan base of people that are genuinely checking for you. Yeah. The album, Lotus, you've got the flower. Yeah. The flower symbolizes what? Rebirth, purity. Talk on that. Like, what was that about? Because even with the artwork, it's like, it's dark.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is, I think, my first album where it's not like a portrait of me. I just felt like, I just wanted to represent myself in a different way that wasn't like my face. Yeah. And it was more just about me seeing myself as this flower that is been in muddy waters, and that is now thriving and coming to the surface. And I love the image. It's really simple. It's monochrome, black and white, but then there's this strip of pink, which I think is still, the fieriness is still, it feels quite punky as well. It feels quite feminine. So I just like playing with like duality and contrast, and knowing that, I guess you don't, below the image is like dark, you don't really know what this lotus is coming from, but you kind of see what it's becoming. And even the lotus itself, it's not perfect, like it's a bit janky, do you know, which I quite like as well. It's even though I've had been scarred from a lot, I still, do you know what I mean, made it out. So yeah, that's it really. It's it doesn't really stretch beyond that. And then I guess the music just does what it does in helping tell the story. Well,
naturally, the album starts,
Yeah.
So, interestingly enough, see, when the album first came out, I made a mistake.
Why?
I went against what I usually do with artists like you. So with artists like you, I usually say, all right, cool, I'm going to either go for a drive, I'm going to sit in my house and I'm going to take this album in properly,
Okay.
yeah. Whereas like certain other artists, like that are different types of artists, I'll just play it, have it in the background and I'm just doing what I'm doing, innit?
Right.
So I just had it on in the background and listening to it sonically, whatever, until I actually sat down and I listened to it, yeah. And when I listened to it and I knew I was going to have a conversation with you, it would have been easy for me to start at the beginning, yeah. But there was something that you said right near the end of the project that stood out to me. And it was when you said,
I was lonely making an album, attempted it 4 times. Lost my confidence and you wouldn't believe why. Sitting in the studio with my head in my hands, thinking what am I to do with this music I can't write.
this is like, you're talking about confidence there and being in a position where it's album time and you've tried to do this 4 times, but you've lost that. Like, it's almost like you've got brain freeze. Would you say this was like one of the first times that when you knew that it was going to be album time for yourself, yeah, was it difficult to initially come up with a conceptualized album initially?
Yeah, before, as in when I was making the first 4.
Yeah, no, when you realized that it was going to be album time and you wanted to make this, this project.
Yeah.
Like, I could imagine that you initially didn't know exactly where you was going to go with it first time around, for you to have scrapped it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So was this like the first, when you was making the first maybe 4 albums in particular, is this probably the most difficult time that it was for you to come up with a conceptualized album?
Yeah, totally. I had already written so much music. What else am I going to talk about? Do you know, that didn't land. And so when it came to this one, I was just like, I don't actually know how to approach this. I didn't even really know how to start a verse. Do you know? I didn't trust my taste in in terms of like what I liked sonically. I just felt really stranded, to be honest. I felt very lost. And the only thing I could do is like talk on that feeling and try and be as honest as possible and just document everything I was feeling in real time, do you know? And then I had to touch on other stuffs, like in terms of elephant in the room, we all know, do you know what I mean, what my situation was with previous collaborators and whatnot, and talking about that scenario and how that affected my creative process. Because when you work with someone for such a long time, it becomes like you trust their ear and they trust your ear, and you just have this dynamic and this way of working that when you're no longer in it, you feel like, whoa, off balance. It's so off balance, you know. And then as well, they're just really embedded in your life in a different way. So that was really hard, just grieving that and overcoming that situation. And then, but it's so interesting because during this time, I'd just done Glastonbury, which was like a really triumphant career highlight. Do you know what I mean? I played on a pyramid before Coldplay. It went amazing. It was like, but then all this stuff was going on in the background. So it was a really interesting, strange, hard time. But when I decided I'm going to try and stick this through, I spoke to Miles and I was just real with everyone that was around me and that was getting in the studio with me. I said, look, I ain't got it right now. Whatever you think this little Simz thing is, I don't have it. So this might be a big waste of your time. But all I can promise is that I will come to the studio every day. I can commit to that, you know, but I can't say I feel like my verses ain't it right now. I feel like I don't know what I want to talk about. Like, I'm just very, very lost. But if you're still down, we can still try, and I know I'm gonna show up every day, and they did. Do you know what I mean? Miles pulled up every day. The musicians, like Ben, who mixed it, everyone was so committed and believed in me. that it almost shocked me, like, rah, like, there are people that really do be having you when it's not that, do you know? Yeah, if that answers your question.
Team falling apart and I'm caught in a crossfire. You selling me lies and saying I must buy. Listen, with my mental that I worked hard to protect is causing pains in my chest, so it's best that I cut ties. Trying to make an album means bearing my whole truth. Unpacking the fuckery I'm trying to heal through. Imagine telling all to somebody you trust, and that same somebody then holds it against you. It's almost like that somebody's trying to end you. I was lonely making an album till I realised I'm all I needed to get through.
And when I got to that bit, honestly, as a fan, that made me proud of you when you said that. When you said that you was lonely making that album until you realised that you was what you needed to get through. And what I took from that is that you, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, she's in album mode and she's trying to like conceptually come up with something, but your spirit can't allow you to move forward without you speaking an element of your truth. And I really rate that. Talk to me about Miles, in fact, yeah? Miles Clinton, his name is, right?
Yeah, Miles Clinton. James,
yeah, like paint a picture of your relationship with him and how that was important to you in this period of time.
Miles, I met Miles, he done some work on Grey Area. Amazing, talented musician and producer. Like, he played like the bass on Selfish, he played guitar on Venom, he played guitar on Wounds, like all over my records he's been playing stuff on I Love You, I Hate You, on so many things. So when I called him and said, I knew I needed to work with someone that was like boundless, like that had no limits in terms of where they could go, because I didn't know where I could go. Do you know, I just needed to get in a room with someone and then try so many different styles and be like, okay, cool, that's where we're going, that's where we're going. And I knew Miles had the capability and was just talented and open enough to want to go there. So when I called him, he said, Simz, I've booked a family holiday. I'm going to Sri Lanka with my family. If you really want to make this now, we can, but I'm honestly burst. Like, I need a break. So I said, do you know what? Say no more. Do your thing. Go on holiday with your family. We'll reconvene when you're back. How long are you going for, though? He said a month. I said, okay, cool.
He wasn't loving that. Like, admittedly, he wasn't loving that. But yeah.
What can you do?
Right.
Just give someone grace
Of
and
course.
just, you know. So he went, done his thing. During that time, I guess I'm just journaling, trying to still get stuff out, just write stuff here and there. But I'm not in album mode. I'm just living my life, whatever. So when we get back in, or when he comes back from holiday, we get back in the studio and we just have loads of conversations. And I just found him to be like someone that is just so musically knowledgeable about like sound and sonics and how things are recorded. And I learned more in the process of like how to get a good sonic for an album, do you know? How to record these drums, how to get this crunch, how to make it feel punky here and smooth here and like we're on a beach here, and just about sound, do you know? And Miles has taught me so much about that, and it's almost like he's someone that's lived through so many different eras. It's like he's lived in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s you know what I mean?
I love talking about music to people like that.
Yeah, man.
Because their taste goes beyond just this one particular thing that they may have just grown up on. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you know, you might come from a certain area or whatever, everyone just listened to this. But there was always that one person who listened to that and this and that and played this and played that and was amongst, and wasn't just here, he was over there with them and over here with them.
So well versed, insane. But not in a way that was like, all right, we get it, you know. Do you know what I mean? It was like, this is the knowledge I have that we can bring to your record with you at the forefront and still leading. Do you know what I mean? So whatever direction you want to go in, we can we can try it, you know. Some days I'd walk in and say, I don't want no drums or no rhythm, and be like, cool, let's just write stuff on a guitar, here's some nice chords on the piano. Another day I'm feeling like I want to scream, we make Thief. Do you know what I mean? So he was just so open into letting me like lead day in and how I was feeling, and just really like cater to that feeling and allow me to honour it.
Yeah, that's sick. I think one of the things as well, so I really enjoy sitting in music sessions, yeah. And I know for a lot of people, the average person will find it really boring.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of the time there's nothing really going on.
Yeah.
But the thing that I like that bit.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the part when there's nothing going on, but then there becomes a conversation.
Right.
And then the conversation ends up becoming, you know, like something happens and it changes the whole direction of the studio session. I love that. And I've got some really good memories on that. But go into this, I think that once you had an idea of where you was gonna go, the story started to tell itself, innit? Yeah.
Totally.
From June 4th.
June 4th and the night is fading. How am I escaping? My reasons don't need explaining. 8 months to the Pisces season changes. Why is this Gemini hating? No, you thought my career right now will be failing, but my ship won't stop sailing. You talk about God when you have a God complex. I think you're the one that needs saving. I was under the spell and now my spirit's awakened. My life can't be controlled by no pagan, so I don't know why you came in. We went from 100 down to 0, and guess it is all your fault. Your name weren't popping until I watched, but you and I did a whole lot.
Let me tell you something, yeah? Do you know what I see when I hear this? Quentin Tarantino, the movie director. I see like a Quentin Tarantino type film. Like you're 100% you're gonna get music syncs from this. I really believe it. Like a movie sync, sorry. I feel like you're gonna get movie syncs from this. How does it feel now, as time has passed? How does it feel to get this artistically off? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you feel lighter?
Yeah, I really do. I feel like very proud of myself. I do feel lighter, and I just feel like, well, I just said my truth, you know? I just put my truth out there, and it's not the most comfortable thing to do. It's like, this is my diary, Chuckie. Do you want to read it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like, that's not an easy thing to do, but I'm super happy that I did, because even if people won't be able to relate to the exact situation, I tried across the album to open it up as much as I can for people to feel like they can relate to the concepts in their own way, do you know?
100%.
So yeah, man, I do feel good about it.
I do. That's because I was going to bring that up as well. I actually think that what's really good about this, because there's like a strong kind of theme in the album.
Yeah.
Even like, you know, when you look at Flood and Hollow, and it's like you're very, very kind of direct in how you're thinking. But even in that, yeah, there's so much relatable elements to that too. And again, it's like you take this into your own life and you listen to some of the things that you're saying and you're like, oh yeah, I relate to that. Like I understand that. And sonically it sounds how it's supposed to sound in that too. Do you know what I mean? Has this felt, because I know sometimes when you're making an album, yeah, and you're making a project, you're living with it for a little while, it's yours, and then you've got to put it out to the world, and then the world just takes it and then they run with whatever they want to run with that, yeah.
Totally.
Has this felt different to the last? Like letting it go? Like, has it felt different?
Yeah. This is definitely my most, I think, personal.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so for sure. And as well, it's almost like even the other day, like I was been doing these outstores and I played Lonely, and I said to the crowd, I'm not gonna lie, I feel really uncomfortable playing this
I would
song.
have thought so.
I feel really like exposed. And that's something that I haven't really experienced before. But it's almost like, you know, if you write something, or I don't know if you've ever done this, but you're like, here you go, but don't read it in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, read it in your own time. Do you know? It almost feels like that. Like, I kind of want to put it out and just go like this, you know?
Yeah.
But I think, I'm at a stage in my life, and I think all my albums do represent where I am at a point in my life, and I've never really shied away from that, but this more so just feels like raw, like I'm really putting myself out there.
It's almost like you've had a conversation with your therapist.
Yeah,
You've got to a
many.
point. Yeah, you've got to a point where you can now operate at a higher frequency. You go and you operate in that higher frequency, but then it's like, rah, this is a real thing still. Do you get what I'm saying? And like, there's still obviously elements of that you're dealing with. What would you say that like managing, let's say like managing friendships and business and stuff like that, like what has that taught you over the period of time? Also how people deal with you based upon perception. Because I guess like when you're in this game for a long time, you build relationships, but sometimes those relationships seem like they can be more than friendships, or do you know what I mean? It's like you find a blurry line in and amongst that.
Yeah.
Like have you learned anything from that?
Yeah, I always used to think like this game or this industry or whatever, like, didn't have the real power to change people, but it really does, do you know? And it just, I don't know, but it happens in so many industries. If it's sports, if it's music, if it's fashion, whatever it is, like, money, success, power, it changes people, do you know what I mean? And I guess I've just learned that as much as you could think things will never get in the way of a relationship or a tight bond or whatever, the reals is it will, and money will do that as well. And I've never been one to sort of worship that or put that. I think I'm very like giving and very like, do you know what I'm saying, with my art, with whatever it is, and sometimes that takes people see that as a weakness and can take advantage of that. And what I've also learned is like I need to actually lean on my family more, because when I was going through what I was going through, because I'm the youngest, I've always had this thing of like, I need to show that I'm all right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you lot don't worry about me, do you know? And so, because I'm not lent on them for advice or like art steps, and sometimes the more you open up to people, the more you give them value as well, you know? The more you say to someone like, I actually need you to protect me, or I need you to, you allow people to show up for you instead of just being like, nah, I've got it. So I think in this scenario, what I've been through, I wish like I lent on them a lot more.
Yeah. You understand, like, it's funny because like I have for a large part of my life been exactly the same.
Yeah.
But then I've got to a point where I've realised like my family is like, it's my superpower.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Even my mum.
Yeah.
Like my mum is like, she's like my superpower.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she knows.
Yeah,
Like when there's something not right, she
Yeah.
knows. And like before, I would always just be like, nah, I don't even try. I would just completely just push that aside. Yeah. But I've realised the power in leaning on the trusted ones on that side, because there's, I think for a creative, so much different things can have you off balance sometimes. And to be able to have that is such a big privilege.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Honestly,
you know, when you look around you, you'll realize there's like so much people actually don't even have that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, 100%. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I grew up with foster kids.
Yeah.
Do you know, and that's like the number one thing I peeped. Like, wow, like I'm so not. I thought every child just has a family and a fit, and they don't. Do you know, and so, yeah, but. Now I'm like, nah, man, I want to, going forward, make the conscious effort to let people in my life know what's going on with me, do you know? Because you hear about it so many times in so many kids, we never knew what was going on with him, or he went and done this, or she went and done that. And that's when you deal with stuff internally and don't feel like, I don't want to trouble no one, don't want to burden anyone.
And do people, do your people come to you? You see, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So then you, like, people will come to you, but you need a go-to.
Yeah,
Do you know
exactly.
what I mean? You need a go-to. You need to be able to pick up the phone, and just speak to somebody that you're really, really close with that understands you, and just let it go. Even if there isn't any direct advice that they can give you, sometimes it's just the ear.
Yeah.
It's all you need.
For sure.
Just the ear.
But it's also like, it's a tricky one because I know I have friends and people I know that are in like a similar position to me, but my close ones, they're people that are on the ground that work in real jobs. So sometimes I feel like when I come with my thing, it's like that's what you're complaining about,
right?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've got to go to work, and I've got to do this, and you feel like you can't really say nothing because they're looking at you, but it's like. The context is taken out because you're still a human who's feeling things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I always feel like,
can I?
Yeah, you know.
I hear it. I do hear it.
Yeah.
Was you being sarcastic here?
What do you think? It's
the
hardest shit I've ever wrote, yo.
I watched the video, I watched the video in particular, and I'm like, okay, the song's called Young. I'm seeing this old. By the way, can I be honest? I didn't. For a minute, I'm like, is it you?
Yeah, right.
I'm like, wait, is it you? I'm like, obviously, it has to be you.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, nah, maybe it's because the way that the makeup and all of that is done is kind of. Do you get what I'm saying? Let me just.
Yeah. Mic testing 1 2 1 2. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Who's that creeping in my window? I get a hot flash whenever the wind blows. Nothing to my name now when everybody knows. When I'm in need of cash, I go down to the bingo. Last night I
like that bit as well, by the way. It's those little bits for me, you know. It's just a little attention to detail.
Last night I asked Jenny for a quid. This is the 5th time I'm used to taking the piss.
Yeah, talk.
Yeah.
What's going on here? What's going
on? Talk. It's I'm not to be taken seriously all the time.
Okay.
Do you know? And I think like I kind of wanted to get out of this like this thing of like I've got to hit the 3 every time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I actually want to try stuff and I might actually miss. But I don't mind though. I genuinely don't mind. And I knew what I was doing when I made the song. I knew it wasn't going to be for everyone. I knew they was going to cuss me. I knew all of that. Do you know?
Is that what's happened?
Yeah, they're cussing me.
Is it?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't really pay too much attention to the internet like that. But so that this is the Marmite one.
Yeah,
in the
for
catalogue.
sure,
I hear
for sure. Yeah. And that's okay because I think I like that you listen to the first 2 and then you get to 3 and you're like, I think that's cool. Do you know? I think it's all right to challenge someone's ear and for someone to say, I don't know about that, but I still want to listen on. Do you know? And I still want to. I'm intrigued, or I don't quite understand that, or maybe I have to live with it for a bit. Maybe I have to see it live. Maybe I think that's cool in art, and I think I like when I get challenged like that in art as well. Do you know? But I'm definitely taken. And I definitely, it's also a sound that like I grew up on like listening to Mike Skinner, The Streets, Blur, like a side of me that people perhaps may not know I've been into that stuff, and trying to step into that, but also I act, so it's fun for me to be able to be a character outside of myself within music and have to put on this voice and have to channel a different energy. I think that's cool. Like, I want to enjoy this
100%.
as well, you know?
I think as well, that's kind of what I took from it too, was that you want to also, in this moment, still do something that is fun for you.
100%.
So when I watched the video, I'm like, she's doing something in this moment that is fun for you. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, whoever wants to be a part of it, come along. Come along.
Yeah,
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a good place to make, I personally think that's a good place to make art from. Because if you did it based upon what you thought everyone else was going to like and love, and then there was a section of people that didn't really like and love it, it's really going to sting. Because I was like, I'm doing this for you.
Of course.
It's like, nah, you got to do, do you know what I mean? And if you like it, I'm here.
For sure.
Do you get what I'm saying? If you like it, I'm here.
For sure. And that was young. I didn't want it to be overthought. I actually found it really difficult to rap off beat.
Okay.
Which was like a different kind of challenge. But all in all, I enjoyed making it in the studio. Considering how like difficult of a time it was, for me to be able to have moments like that within it really lifted my spirit. Do you know what I mean? Really made those days when it was tough to like drag my feet to the studio, coming out and just having that, it's like, I'm gassed to go back tomorrow, you know? So I needed that for me, you know? So
all about like operating again in that same frequency and trying to raise it and doing things to raise that musically as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to get into probably maybe like my top 3 on the project in particular. I really love this.
I think that love is forgiving yourself. I think that love is offering your immediate help. I think that love is everything that we need in this world. I think the key is being honest and being yourself. I think love is understanding that people can change and loving them anyway through every stage. I read all about love, then I gave it to Jade. Love is sharing knowledge, there's so much to gain. Love is every time I put pen to the page. If I don't love what I'm doing, then I'm hardly engaged, yeah. God, you love me though I am flawed. I know I'm not an innocent child, but I am yours. And if you're with me, you are safe. I know my body isn't immortal, but I am brave. I think you know it's real love when it's sincere. I'ma show them I ain't scared, eradicate fear, yeah.
A hook on that as well, I love that. What did that studio session look like? This is, for me, looking at you and watching you, I've always taken educational guess that you have grown with your confidence over a period of time.
Yeah.
And then an element of that confidence was not. But you are now like reaffirming the love back within yourself. What did that day look like?
Yeah. This come at the end of the day.
Right.
We was wrapping up. Miles was just like, I don't know, I might have been putting my laptop in my bag, like just getting my bits, and I think he just played like a sketch that he had done with Alex, who's playing the bass, and I was like, whoa, like what is that? And there and then I had those lyrics, but I'd written it as a poem, and so I just start, just in my head, like as he's playing the loop. And then I was like, do you know what? I'm tired, but let me just put this down as a demo. And we can attack it tomorrow, but I really love this. And
do you know what it is as well? It's the, like, when you came in, I was just playing it. I was just literally running the instrumental of it, because it's soothing.
It's so soothing.
Me and EA, we was just sitting and having a discussion about it, and like how, because you've got another song on there on the project called Peace.
Yeah.
But it's like that song and this song
Yeah.
really leans into that peaceful side of the art that you've created and where you're at the moment. Do you know what I mean? And it just feels good. Feels good.
It's so sick. This is all I heard, and I was like, what? What is this? This is insane. Yeah, I love this song, man.
The other one, there's a few parts on this. You wanna get swept in my BM.
Yes, brunch is so cold when Michelin star chefs stepping out of place, smelling like success. Can't take a break from making dumb checks. I'ma spend my M's, pass through the ends. Tattoo on their chest saying SIMZ.
I will say this as well, yeah. Like, me and Poet has talked about this before, but we love the fact that you're a big stepper though. Yeah, you are a big step. Poet was actually gonna come here today and just come and check you because he's got a lot of time for you.
Yeah.
But we talk about that. We love the fact that you're humbly a big stepper in this. You know what I'm saying?
I know you wanna live your dreams, baby. Yo, from the hood, turn into a queen.
But it's also, so I want to just go to
Nah,
this.
go.
It's the hook for me.
Yeah, of course. Silky.
Proper silky. And the part that I felt like was made for me, the part that was made for me. I love a bridge. I love a bridge. Talk to me about Only.
Only was a song. So I went in the studio one day and I just said to Mars, I love like bossa nova music. Like it's one of my favorite types of music. Like music from Brazil, South America. Like I just love their grooves and their drum patterns and that kind of thing. Sometimes I'll just play it around the house. More time it's in like Spanish or I don't understand what they're saying, but I just find it very, very soothing, relaxing. And so I said to Mars, I would love to channel that style. And again, he's just allowed me to lead. He was like, say no more, hopped in the kit, started with the groove. And as soon as he played the piano, da, 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 I was like, yeah, this is something. God. It's so beautiful. You can listen to that loop. A lot of this music that he's crafted as well for the album, you can just listen to it as is.
That's what I love.
You know.
You see me, I could just listen to instrumentals. You know?
Yeah, really.
I could really listen to instrumentals. Like it has to be a certain style, but I do like I'll listen to the song, then I'll take the instrument and I'll just be in the yard and I'll just meditate to that. Like because I don't know, was it Bob Marley said when the music hits you feel no pain, but you feel something strongly when you really resonate with that.
Yeah, totally.
And it also sounds like a fun song to make as well.
Yeah, it was.
Still.
And then Lydia as well, she's, for those who don't know, she's in a band called Jungle.
Right.
So
oh, she's part of Jungle.
yeah.
Oh, blouse and skirt. I love Jungle. Mad, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's lead singer of Jungle, so
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah, man, she's
So
wicked.
how did you know her? Like what? How did you?
I'd worked with her before, years back, but she wasn't doing vocals actually. She was just playing, but she's cold, like just as a musician. She was just playing bass, and then she started doing her thing with Jungle. I just hit her up, like I think I just shot her a DM, got a tune for you if you're interested. Yeah, man.
What do you think my favourite one is?
Blood.
You know, yeah. You see when
Twin, oh, go on. Where are you? And how's mum?
you know, like even just that. Wretch is so good at speaking and rhyming.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The speaking and rhyming. It's like when I heard that bit, I'm like, There's many of times I'm sure I've said that and I've not realised I've rhymed
That's-
it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Twin, oh, go on. Where are you? And how's mum?
I like, when I heard that, I was bare times I'm rewinding that, laughing.
way,
Like,
He's
but
too good.
I'm really, really curious to know like what that studio session looked like, where that came from. You featured on Wretch's project with a song called Black and British.
Yeah.
Which almost
Amazing album
feels
as well.
home. And I've been saying this as well. It's like he mentions on that project that Kano made Home Sweet Home for him, which he also made for us.
Yeah.
But it's like home today is made for me and where I'm at today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I love the fact that
yeah.
like,
Wow,
so I'm
that's
going off
powerful.
into this little tangent
No,
here,
go.
but it's like, I love the fact that there are artists like yourself as well, that are getting to a certain point in your life where you're getting older, but you're also making music accordingly too. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm getting older as well.
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
feeling things and understanding things and
Totally.
going through certain things that I may not have been through before.
yeah.
So I always need that part to nourish me in some ways. Do you get what I'm saying?
Totally, yeah.
But you two together in particular have really, really good chemistry. And it's like that song, that Black and British song, it almost seems like it's like your brothers and sisters even in that.
In that, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then there's like just another day or another period of time has gone by and you're just rapping on the phone. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Talk on that. Like how did that come about?
Wretch and I were making like a bunch of music at the time. We was in studio just working on a bunch of stuff. And then I just had an idea to have this dialogue, but as siblings, with this concept of the brother being, he's an artist, he's on tour, whatever, and the sister's kind of home holding it down with mom and whatnot. I didn't honestly had to say too much, and he instantly he just got it. And as soon as I was like, all right, I'm gonna set it off with a hello. And that's where he took it, and then we just, and I think there's the points in which we wanted to showcase with like a sibling dynamic, or if it's cousins or just close family relatives, if it's, you was always the favourite though, I went through this, but I had to go through this, and you only call me when it's money, or do you know what I mean? Just these real conversations that we have with our loved ones and making it feel like you can tell they love each other so much, but there's maybe a bit of resentment because you've just gone on and done whatever and I've had to hold the fork down. But then you don't know what my life is like. The same thing we was talking about earlier, do you know what I mean? With like, sometimes feeling like we're in two different worlds, and what makes your stress is mine, and is it, do you know? And then Cash as well, just like being that sort of, if you want greener grass, you have to water where you are. Do you know what I mean? This kind of ethereal, otherworldly, subconscious, do you know? And even how we recorded that was like 3 mics set up in the studio. It wasn't I go in the booth, then he go in the booth, then it's 3 mics. We done it as one take.
Cold.
So it was very much a performance, do you know? And it's one of my favourites for sure.
It's the distance in the dark.
Distance in the dark. I feel we've grown apart. If you want greener grass, you have to water where you are.
And we were talking about, we was talking about bridges.
My family is my hammer. To the muddiest water. When you clean up sins and karma, you get the muddiest water. Distance in the dark. I feel we've grown apart. If you want greener grass, you have to water where you are.
Yeah, this song still gives me shivers, man. Even when I think of like, even Cash with his situation, all he's been through, do you know what I mean? Having, Yeah, I just think between all three of us, the song just hits in so many different ways, you know?
You know, I don't think I've ever told Cash this, yeah. But one of the most touching interviews that I ever did or conversations I ever had was actually with him.
Really?
Because before I started the pod, essentially what had happened was I really wanted to be on radio. So I was really trying to get on radio. I was DJing, hustling. I used to be outside One Extra all the time, giving out mixy. I just wanted them to see me. Yeah. And to cut a long story short, it just didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to just create something on my own. So this is when I started to do a radio station but on SoundCloud. It was like a radio show. Yeah. And in that, because so much people were just, making music, doing it for fun, whatever, I had a segment called Phone Check. So I'm like speaking to artists for 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, whatever. You were somebody I wanted to chat to at the time as well, because I remember I was following you through Bandcamp or whatever. But anyway, in the end, I ended up doing Wiley, and then I didn't want that 10 minutes. We ended up talking for an hour. Yeah? Wow. And remember, podcasting wasn't how it is today. People weren't listening to like an hour conversations. But I didn't want to stop him because obviously it's Wiley, and it was interesting. So after that, I'm like, I pull it out and it did quite well. I just thought, whoever wants to listen to it, they'll just listen to it. Yeah. And I was thinking, who could I do next? But then Cash had that whole situation going on. Right. Yeah. And he had not long been in Jamaica. Right. And so I ended up speaking to him. I think I must have been one of the first people to actually just have a long conversation from him. And I'll never forget how I felt when I left that conversation, because I was like, wow, like what he's gone through is such a serious thing. And like, that must have had him so off balance. And the beauty of it is that in the end, it seemed like he managed to make peace with what was going on and understood the beauty of where he was actually from and maneuvered in a certain way. And now, when I watch him creating the art, I see all of that in there. And when I hear this, it's like, for me, it's like I understand exactly where that comes from. Do you know what I mean? And there's a clip that he put on his Instagram quite recently of him coming up with the hook and you are in the studio and whatever. And like, that must have felt good when you heard him actually come up with
that. When I said, yo, all of us were just like, we knew that, okay, we've got something really, really special, you know? And he was so like open and so generous with like what he wanted to contribute and how he wanted to give to the process. Came on time, like just so like, just lovely, man. Both of them like just really showed up for me. And even that, like with all the madness, it's like the amount of black men that came through for me on this project, you know, from Wretch to Cash to Sampha to Mike to Moses to Yusuf to Mike, like that really lifted me up, do you know what I mean? And had my back and said, Narciss, like, we've got you, do you know? It was just like, I'll never forget and always be grateful for, and women as well, but just like in terms of just how I felt the support from black men in this process, I just want to, make that known, do you know?
Play a little bit.
Twin, oh, go on, where are you? And how's mum?
Wait, hold on. Why don't you phone mum? Long time I ain't heard from you. Couldn't get one word from you.
That's why I just phoned, sorry. I spoke to mum on her Earth Strong.
What, 8 months ago? Don't try.
I spoke to her on her Earth Strong. These times it was 8 months ago. Hey, we do that sometimes, you know. We just have this part that we remember and we don't even put a time on it, but we just know that we did it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Now it's me every day that she hears from. Arthritis in her right leg, am I right in saying you see no wrongs?
It's like the woman won't relax. I already told her quit the nurse job. I said I'll put her on a wage. What more can I say if she just wants to work?
I love that part. I love that part so much. Just like, just in how he delivered it is, yeah, couldn't have written it any better. It's like the woman won't relax. I already told her quit the nurse job. I said I'll put her on a wage. What more can I say? If she just wants to work, what? Like, incredible.
It's just the talking.
Yeah.
But it makes all the sense in the world, and it rhymes. It's mad.
It's a son with money. Yo, why you even in the country?
Of course I'm never in the country. It's called a world tour, funnily. And all you hit me for is money.
Well, some of us ain't got it like that, and that's not true. I call to check on you, and you say you'll hit me right back. Then you're gone for months, but it's nice that you finally called for once.
For once?
Yes, for once.
You're
I'm
saying
just
for
surprised.
once. You're saying for once.
When do you ever call me?
Like, when do you ever call me, though? Like, when do you? Yeah, there's this, the relatability in that is so loud. In closing, like, what are you manifesting for yourself now? What does that look like?
Just peace, man. I think I really, I'm down for like peace. I'm really, and I think as an artist sometimes you don't even know, but subconsciously you can look for chaos because you think you can have stuff to write about and stuff to talk about, and it might help inspire something, do you know? And I think I understand that, but it feels a bit self-destructive sometimes and a bit toxic, do you know? And I think I just wanna live a peaceful life, and I understand like it's gonna come with whatever it's gonna come with, but I just want to try my best to do my best, you know, through it all, and that's it. And I'm way more don't know, I've got a lot of thick skin, I think, and this
Have
album
you surprised
is
yourself?
yeah, for sure. Even in moments where I felt like something wouldn't rock me, and it has, do you know? It's like, it's both ways. The moments I felt like I don't have this, and I rise above it and I've got it, and then the moments where I feel like I've got this and I actually crumble, do you know? So I've surprised myself in both ways through it all, for sure, but yeah, somehow I always rise above it, man.
Is it like, as success does come, and things change, dynamics change and all these type of stuff, like, is it difficult managing healthy paranoia? Because naturally, when certain situations happen, whatever they may be, it could be contractually, it could be a situation that's happened with somebody, or whatever it may be, it's like, it probably compounds into the element of paranoia a little bit.
Totally.
But you know, too much paranoia can be destructive to what to your peace, essentially. Like, how is it managing that aspect?
Yeah, I mean, therapy has definitely been a leading factor in contributing to how I manage that. Just being able to have a space to talk and to offload has really helped me more than I thought it would, which I personally think should come with, like, even when people do deals and stuff, I think therapy should be in that.
Yeah, I believe that too, 100%.
You know, I think, yeah, artists should be provided with artist care.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
so,
I genuinely believe that. Even like when I say it, I don't even mean it from the aspect of you sign a deal, whatever, and then they give you somebody, but there should be something allocated
100% for your mental health.
100.
Yeah, for sure. And the truth is, yeah, you never know, innit? Like, you never really know. Like, I can sit here and say, because I've gone through something like that, like, I'll never go through that again. But I'm sure throughout my lifetime, something else is going to present itself and whatever. But I think I just try my best to like I was saying before, like include my family and stuff, and talk to people around that are close to me, and take my time with things and decisions, and sit on things, sleep on things. Like, deadlines are bullshit. Like, no one needs an answer on things right now.
Facts.
No one needs...
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
No one's life is on the line like
no,
that.
it's not that. Do you know what I mean? And I think all of that, like, anxiety of like, oh, I need to make a decision now. I need to move on this now. I need to this. You don't, do you know? And I think as I'm growing through it, I'm just learning now I can actually take my time with things. I'm making whatever decisions they are. They could be really small, but they're still life decisions, do you know? So take your time with it and don't let anyone like put their sort of stresses or anything like that onto you.
Is this expensive, by the way?
What? This album?
Yeah, like I was saying,
Yeah.
this is what I was saying on the pod. I was like, one thing about Simz's music and art, it just seems really expensive. It seems like it costs a lot.
Yeah, it does.
It seems like it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Not just obviously the mental, but just actual finances.
It does, for sure. And it's not cheap. But I feel I've always backed myself. I've always been self-sufficient in terms of like, I'm not waiting on anyone. Do you know what I mean? And I will very literally dedicate whatever I have to this project. I want to make this record. I believe in it. Even when I don't believe in it, I still believe in it. Do you know? Yeah, it is.
I think this is definitely something that you should be proud of.
Thank you.
I speak for the people that are around me. Like, we are so proud of you. Honestly,
you.
like I know, I can only imagine how difficult it was, you know, creating under these circumstances and whatever else. You're gonna have to perform it. The performance part of it is gonna be really interesting. You know, you're gonna see, you're gonna see the parts that people really resonate to, and also it's at times it's gonna, you know, bring certain things back for you. But I think that feeling is good. You know, not all feeling is good.
Yeah.
But you learn stuff from feeling, and you can grow from feeling and push through the other side. So listen, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you. And you know what? Anytime, you know, like me, poet, whoever, like we will always sit down and have a life one outside of all of this. Do you get what I'm saying? Like we feel like even though we don't talk like that, it feels like there's a brother-sister thing here. Do you get what I'm saying? So
no, for sure. Thank you, though.
You know where we are, man.
Thank you for listening to the album, for getting into it. This was proper nice. It's nice to just like speak about it, but also listen to it as well. Do you know because it brings things back. So yeah, this was sick.
Thanks for your time. Red Bull, big up. Also big up all the collaborators that are a part of this too. The Cheque up. Not everyone can do this because I can't do this with everyone. I can't do this with everyone. But we're here. Simz, love.
Yeah, wicked.
As I walk this wicked ground, keep me away.